Yo, 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 what's up, LA Live gang? Salute the Laker Nation. This is your boy AC, LA Sports Live, with a very special Sunday edition of the Lakers Report. The Lakers back in action today versus the New York Knicks. We had a lot of things transpire with the Lakers this past week. Lakers had a breakthrough performance in D'Lo and his return, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm very pleased to have two special guests, one returning and one new guest right here at LA Sports Live. Man, I really appreciate these brothers coming through on time, ready to go. And, I really appreciate that. We got my main man, LOE, Lakers over everything in the house. You guys know about him. Salute, my brother. What's going on?
Salute. What it do, LA Live Sports Crew?
Nothing much, man. Slow motion on the Sunday, but we got our Lakers in action today versus, like I said, versus the New York Knicks. Very important game for the Lakers, and we definitely need a big victory from them today. But my very special guest today, man, first time on the channel. I first seen this man, well, I first heard this man on Ticket TV. Ticket TV has influenced so many channels, even mine. And, I heard a lot of different guys on there. Some guys you agree with, some guys you don't agree with. But I said, hey, man, let me reach out to LB. Man, because LB seems to be pretty knowledgeable and pretty fair in his takes and criticisms. So I want to welcome LB, the sports and political channel, LB, to LA Sports Live for the first time. What's up, my brother?
Hey, man. It's very nice to be on here. I thank you for the invite. And let's just get down to business, man.
Right now. Before we get started, man, since you're new to the channel, everybody knows LOE. He has his Laker channel. He also has his wrestling channel. So could you give my viewers a little bit of insight, man, on your channel and what you're doing over at the sports and political channel of LB?
Absolutely. So, like you said, Ticket influenced me to start my YouTube channel. I started the YouTube channel back in 2019. That's when I put up my first ever video. And over the years, I learned to talk about different topics, but my main focus is on basketball, baseball. I really don't talk football all that much. And on the political side, I talk about issues that how it impacts the Black community. And my videos, when I go into politics, because me working up there, I work up there, so I know a lot of the stuff that goes down out there. So I take what I know from working up there and I apply it on this channel, so that way you be informed. Because to me, when you battle your enemy, one way to defeat your enemy, you got to know how your enemy moves, you got to know how your enemy operates, and things of that nature. So that's on the political side. Sports side, like you say, I try to keep things fair, down the middle, no crazy hot takes, not outlandish and all that stuff. No projection. We try to keep things down the middle as we see it happen. And that's the main crux of my channel. I try to tell you stuff that the mainstream media won't tell you. So.
Right. And, here's the thing, man. Now, like I mentioned about Ticket earlier and how big he's influenced this genre of YouTubers. I started my channel, and then maybe a year after I started, some kind of way I ran into Ticket TV. And I was like, man, I think I want to change a few things up, pattern my channel a little bit. You know how he does the updates. So I kind of studied a little bit and learned how he was doing certain things. But also, man, you don't know. Now, I was trying to figure out how to go live. Of course, at the time, I didn't have 1,000 subscribers. But then I seen you pop up on your channel, and I'm like, okay, LB don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, but he's going live. How is that? I'm like, but shit, it took me like a month or so, and I was like, man, okay, these guys must is using some software or something. But anyway, it took me like a month, man, but I finally figured it out, man. So the point is, man, you never know who's watching, you never know who's studying, what you're doing on YouTube. Literally anybody could be watching from anywhere in the world, man. So, it's just a great platform to get on, express your feelings and give your views and, share it with the YouTube community. So man, let's jump right into it, bro. Let's jump right into it. Now, hold on. Before we get started, LB, now we've gone back and forth a few times, man, but you said, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but you said the Lakers are actually your team. Are you a Lakers fan?
Man, going all the way back to Showtime, baby.
Okay, right. Man. So look, are you originally from DC or are you originally from that part of the country or what?
No, I actually grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, and when I joined the military, that's when I stationed in Virginia, stationed in Maine, and all these other spots. But yeah, I pretty much made DC my home. Well, not necessarily. I made the DC area my home ever since 2015. So I've been in the area and all that. So, but yeah, I still keep tabs on the Lakers and all that. I miss Kobe Bryant. Top 5 dead or alive, right?
Right.
And but really, my favorite player growing up was Magic Johnson. That was my favorite player.
Right. Yeah, people who are familiar with this channel know, man, that actually Magic and Shaq are my favorite 2 Lakers. If I had a third one, it would be Kobe, of course. We're probably close in age, but we pretty much grew up. All 3 of us, really, we kind of grew up with Kobe. He was with the Lakers for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he's a favorite amongst most people. But yeah, man, hey, Laker Nation extends all across the country, man. People don't realize extends all across the country. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into this. So look, the Lakers started the season off, man. It was a real rough start of the season. We came in with basically a whole new team again. Season started horrifically 2-10. Briefly, real quick, both of you guys, man, what was your thoughts when the Lakers got off to such a dismal start, 2-10?
Oh man, it was rough, bro. You already know it was rough. We went through the whole summer with the Kyrie saga, right?
Right.
Then we fell off that boat, and then it was like, okay, we'll do the deal with Utah, do the deal with Indiana, do the deal with somebody, and we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing. Brought in Russ, and it was just tough, man. It was tough. It was I couldn't watch it, bro. You already know. I had to check out. It was bad, very, very bad, and especially after we went through what we went through last season, and we're like, oh right. Man, we're going through this again? No way. So I couldn't watch it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, where were you? Where were you thinking, man? Those first few weeks of the season, LB.
Well, it's pretty much come to what I expected, because you remember at the end of last season when I went on live and I told people that, hey, Russell Westbrook's going to start the season as a Laker, and you and I was like going back and forth, but no, he's not. He's going to get traded. I'm like, no, he's not, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
He's not going to get traded, right?
Right.
And it was just more of the same. I mean, the team, the roster construction was bad. There's no chemistry on the court. Looked like people was trying to get theirs. It was just painful to watch, man. Right? And I started reflecting back them Laker years where we were perennial NBA Finals contenders and all that, and that was just it was far away from that. It was a sad state of affairs, and I didn't know what to do, man. 2-10, and it's like, it was very annoying to watch that brand of basketball. Was it good? Guys
Right.
turn the ball over, guys taking bad shots. They have big leads and they blow it late and lose games and all that. It was just it was irritating to see, man.
Yeah, it was almost kind of like um the previous season just continued from where they left off, man. It was hard to watch, like my man LOE said. I too had to kind of fall back a little bit. You start the season off 2-10. The shooting was horrific. The shooting was like at the all-time Lakers low. It was just really bad, man. And I was kind of fearing that the Lakers were entering territory where no matter what they do, they probably wouldn't be able to recover this season. But luckily they were able to kind of turn it around, a little bit, and get the ship turned the right way. So yeah, the Lakers struggled pretty much the whole, half first half of the season. Man, we didn't really gain any traction until what was at the end of January. Something jumped off on at the end of January that was really unexpected, and that was when Rob Pelinka put off that trade for Rui Hachimura with the Wizards. Um, Even going back to last season, the Lakers had a problem with depth as far as size. So, and LOE, we discussed it on many occasions that the Lakers needed a wing. Tell me what you think about uh, on that day, January 24th, when Rob pulled off that trade out of nowhere for Rui Hachimura.
Right, like you said, out of nowhere. It was. I mean, it looked like we was in our darkest hour, right? And he comes and pulls us out of nowhere. So it definitely gave Lakers Nation the life that we needed to be, like, oh, okay, maybe we can turn this thing around. We can salvage this season. So I mean, that right there was big time. And then, we didn't give up. We didn't really give up anything to get him.
Right,
So
right.
that was major. And then not only was it major for our right now, but it's major for our future. Because we have we're able to match. He's restricted. So we're able to match any offer out there, right? So we can keep him. So great move for now. Great move for the future, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. But that's something that Rob always talked about doing. He wanted something for now, and he wanted something for the future as well. So perfect execution. It came out of nowhere. Everybody was down in the Lakers, and we'll get to it in a second, but that was the jump off to turn things around. So salute to Big Rob for that, Godfather Rob for that move.
That's right. That's right. Hey, so LB, you got a unique perspective on this because you're actually out there in the DC area. So I don't know, had you heard that that trade was even a possibility, or I think I figured that Rui was probably going to get moved, but I didn't hear anything about him possibly coming to the Lakers. So, what was your take on that move with Lakers acquiring Rui Hachimura?
So the problem was going on. Rui Hashimura wanted a bigger role. That was his beef, right? Now the year before he was injured, so he didn't really play like that towards the end of last year, whatever. But he came back wanting to play a bigger role. Um, he had a big role with Scott Brooks. When Scott Brooks got fired, they brought in what's his name, Wes Unseld Jr. His role got diminished in the trade with Kyle Kuzma. So
Right.
when Kyle Kuzma was acquired, his role got diminished, and then his role further got diminished with the acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis. So what the Wizards were trying to do, they're trying to build around Beal, Porzingis, and Kuzma, and Hashimura just didn't fit into the long-term plans of the Wizards. That's why he came up with the quote, "Hey, I want to be somewhere where I'm wanted." And
Mhm.
that next day, that's when the move got made. Now, did I anticipate going to the Lakers? No, I did not anticipate him going to the Lakers, but the Wizards, what they're trying to do, they're trying to stockpile draft picks so that way they can make another move in the summer. Them getting Kendrick Nunn, look, Kendrick Nunn was a complete disaster on the Lakers, man. Right. And I had high hopes for Kendrick Nunn too, but he was just a complete disaster, man. I forgot who they gave up a couple other insignificant pieces or whatever like that, but it turned out to be a really good move because the Lakers did address a need where you had to have defenders on the wings because we were getting killed by athletic wing players. So I like the move right there, and Rui Hachimura, he gets a change of scenery, and sometimes change of scenery is good.
Right. It had been kind of an up and down thing with Rui. I've been kind of watching him from afar, and I saw when the Wizards made the trade and acquired Kyle Kuzma, and I think it was the beginning of last season. Rui started out; he wasn't even in camp to begin the season, and I don't know if he was injured or they said he was out for personal reasons. And I was like, man, that's Kuzma's chance to just jump right in and start. And shit, that's what happened. And like pretty much what you said later on when they acquired KP, and it just looked like Rui ended up being the odd man out. So I think it was a win-win for both teams there. Lakers acquired a wing type player that they desperately needed. I mean, I don't know about you, LOE, but I was going crazy sitting up here trying to watch 6'1" Dennis Schroeder and 6'1" Nappy Head try to guard wing players, man. That was just ridiculous, bro.
Right, it was. And then you go back to Rob's. You remember Rob's statement talking about it's a guards league. You remember when he said that?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, we loaded up on all his guards, and asking Pat Bev to guard. It's tough, man, especially out here in the West, man. You got these young wings like BI, BI coming up. I remember he was tortured, and Patrick Beverly was guarding him. And then there's so many other guys. It was very difficult. So, getting him, Rui was heaven sent at the time. And that move was just big. It was big time for us, and it was a start to changing the course of the season,
Yeah, for sure, man. So moving on, man. Look, it wasn't too much longer. About 2 weeks later, we're coming up on the NBA trade deadline. It's now or never time for the Lakers. Are they going to trade Russell Westbrook or not? Is he going to finish the season? Does anybody want his contract? There was so much speculation going on. But I think it was the day before the actual trade deadline? We got the rumor, Lakers closing in on a deal to move Russell Westbrook to the Jazz. That was the big piece. One of the biggest trades that happened on the NBA deadline. Lakers moving, finally getting off of Russ, moving him to Utah for Beasley and Vanderbilt. And Rob was able to give up just one pick and actually get D'Lo from the Timberwolves, and that's something that was a part of the deal that wasn't even. We didn't talk about that at all last season. We were talking about. Last summer we were talking about Mike Conley, but some kind of way Rob was able to finesse that and getting D'Angelo Russell. LB, tell me, what'd you think about the big trade the Lakers made on the NBA trade deadline?
Well, as I called it, right, as I said, I thought that they was going to start the season with the Lakers, but he wasn't going to finish the season with the Lakers. And I love the move for Jared Vanderbilt. I love that move. You get a high energy guy off the bench who can defend the other team's best player, right? You saw it in the Dallas game with Luka Doncic, right? And how he was frustrating Luka, and that allowed that comeback the biggest comeback in Lakers history, down 27 to win that game. He had a double-double that game too. So you get a guy that can come in, rebound, defend, score, get you 10 to 15 points, man. I love that move for Jared Vanderbilt, right? Malik Beasley, a guy who is a streaky shooter, but when he's on, he is on.
Right.
So he's more of a volatile type player. So given the right matchup, he can go off and he can go off and all that. And then D'Lo, this is Act 2 for D'Lo. D'Lo was the number 2 overall pick out of Ohio State when the Lakers first drafted him. He was a snitch, and then he ended up getting shipped off, right?
It is what it is. It is
But
what
it is, But D'Lo, he played well coming back from injury on Friday night against the Raptors and all that. And that was a rather impressive win because the Toronto Raptors are making they're starting to make their move in the Eastern Conference or whatever. I know things have been a little rocky for them. There are all kinds of trade rumors and, stuff like that. But, they're starting to turn it on. And the Lakers, without LeBron again, AD out there balling. They're doing their thing right now. So I love these acquisitions or whatever like that. And there's another element that we're going to talk about later on when you get to it, bro.
Right. LOE, even going back to last summer, bro. I mean, I don't know how many conversations or how many ideas we threw at each other, and up until when training camp opened up this season, it was last minute speculation the trade might get done. It didn't get done. They said the Pacers deal was a done deal. It didn't get done. Russ ends up staying. We had to go through hell. We'll talk about that later, maybe. We had to go through hell dealing with Russ. But anyway, on the trade deadline day, man, that deal was announced. The Lakers made multiple deals. Man, just tell me, what were you thinking, man, when the Woj bomb and the Shams bomb finally dropped?
Oh man, I was on the freeway driving. I had to pull over, bro. That's how excited I was. Like you said, it was rough. Us waiting and waiting and waiting for something to get done, and just to finally see it, finally get it done. It was just like wow. And then the moves that we, the guys that we acquired, they checked serious boxes that we needed. Of course, we just talked about how we needed a perimeter defender, and we got that in Rui. But then you take it to the next level in Jared Vanderbilt, man. And we talked about Jared Vanderbilt a lot, during the summer, as a guy we wanted in that Utah deal. I don't know if you guys remember, but they were saying that it was going to cost a first-round pick to get Jared Vanderbilt from Utah, in the summertime.
Right.
Right. You remember we talked about that extensively. So to the fact that we got all of them for just one pick and not both picks, it just shows the greatness of Rob Pelinka. Then Malik Beasley, obviously he checked the box. We desperately needed that shooting. And obviously we didn't do the Indiana deal, but he healed. So the next best thing would probably be Malik Beasley, right? And then out of left field comes D'Angelo Russell. That's something we needed. Of course we're getting rid of a point guard, in Russell Westbrook. Now we're bringing back one that he's a much better fit. As great as Russ is, Hall of Famer, all that stuff, he just wasn't a fit with us. But D'Lo, he's a fit. He can shoot the 3-ball. He can be that playmaker. He can be a scorer, and we're seeing that now with LeBron James out. There's no drop in the offense scoring wise because D'Lo can kind of pick up that slack. And he's an elite passer, right? So you miss out on Kyrie Irving. D'Lo is a nice backup plan, right? So all together, man, the trade was a slam dunk for me. And we're seeing it now. We're seeing how great these guys are now, the chemistry and just what they bring. They're professionals as well. They come in knowing what they got to do, knowing their role, and they excel in their roles. So I'm very excited to see how this next month plays out, with these guys. But so far, so great.
Yeah, man. I didn't have this in the plan, but this is something that came out of nowhere as well, man.
Right.
All of a sudden, we hear Thomas Bryant requests a trade. Actually, we talked about Mo Bamba. I guess that was during free agency.
Right. Yeah, in the summer we talked about him a lot.
We talked about possibly acquiring him in free agency, but we saw he signed with Orlando, got that $10 million, and ended up going with the Magic. LB, what did you make of the Lakers trade of Thomas Bryant for Mo Bamba?
Well, to me, the Thomas Bryant one came out of nowhere, considering the impact Thomas Bryant had. But I understand why he wanted that. He wanted a bigger role. But you go to the Denver Nuggets, you ain't get no role behind Jokic. But anyway, but Mo Bamba, right. Mo Bamba is the third center, right, behind Shaquille O'Neal and Dwight Howard to get traded from Orlando to LA. Now,
wow, yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, man, Mo Bamba, I like him too. A guy who you don't have to have him do much. He can rim protect, he can rebound, and then you give him an occasional alley, he get a putback dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect combination. And because remember, the Lakers interior was horrible, especially whenever AD was out. Oh my God, the Lakers would get torched on the interior. But now you get a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, who can come in and you don't have to drop off your defense or whatever like that. So this is another good move. This was a shrewd move by Rob Pelinka. I had to give him kudos on that one because I wanted to light his behind on fire, man.
Right. And of course that was it was an unexpected move. Is it fortunate we only got a few games from Obama, then he went down with the ankle injury. And another part of his game that's definitely going to help the Lakers. Maybe maybe we make the playoffs the next season if we retain him is his 3-point shooting.
Right.
He's Thomas Bryant was good, but Mo Bamba, I think he's a much better 3-point shooter. And again, hold on, before we move on, Laker fans, we got to salute this man right here. Rob Pelinka, bro, he really came through, really shut a lot of people up at the NBA trade deadline, man, with his shrewd moves and trades out of nowhere, man. So we're going to see if Rob can continue to do that. So look, fast forward, past the trade deadline, we get rid of Russ. We had one game where we had to wait for everybody to get healthy and take their physicals and join the team. Since then, I believe the Lakers are 8-3, right? The Lakers are 8-3 since that trade. At the time of the trade, we were sitting in 13th place, and it's been about 2 weeks, and the Lakers already moved up to 9th. Now, LOE, we talked about this again, thousands of conversations. It's ridiculous. Thousands of conversations. And I was kind of skeptical about how quickly or how far this team could move up. But we see within 2 weeks, they already got to the 9th seed. I'm going to ask LB first, man. Like I said, they moved up 4 slots in a matter of 2 weeks. Realistically, man, how far do you think this, how high in the standings do you think this Laker team can go?
All right, so for context, the Lakers have the 3rd easiest schedule remaining in the NBA.
Right.
I can see them going as high as 6. I see them getting out of the play-in and actually in the playoff seating. I can see them going as high as 6, considering that they have the 3rd easiest schedule remaining in the league.
LOE, I think you might be a little bit more optimistic, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I see him going all the way up to the 5th seed, man. If you look at the standings, I mean, today we got New York today, right? On the back-to-back, they're coming off a back-to-back. Of course, the Clippers beat them last night. Now, if the Lakers win today, we move into a 3-way tie for the 7th seed.
Well, hold on. Hold on, man. Let's look at the standings. Oh, wait.
Right, you look, pull them up.
Oh shit!
I like that.
What the
hell? Oh man, my bad. That's a thing of the past. We won't talk about that. Oh shit! Wrong one again. God damn, my bad, man. My bad. Okay, let's.
Russell Westbrook building houses, huh?
Let's building that new Clippers arena.
Yeah. Let's get to the standings, man. Okay, here we go.
There it is. So yeah, if you look at it, 33-34, we win the day. We have identical records as Minnesota and Dallas. Now obviously they own tiebreakers over us, but the thing is we have head-to-head matchups remaining against both of those teams. So basically what I'm saying is today we could capture the 7th seed, right? Tie for the 7th seed, and we pretty much control our own destiny. And dropping no lower than the 7th seed, because we have head-to-heads against Minnesota and Dallas. And then you see the Warriors there, they're 35-33.
Right.
Like LB said, we have one of the easiest remaining schedules. I'm not sure what the Warrior schedule look like. We can pull up a little later, but I think we can definitely jump the Warriors, for that 16. And then the Clippers, I don't see. I know they're on a little 3-game win streak, but we do have a head-to-head remaining against the Clippers as well. I can see us jumping them as well, getting up to that 5th seed. So, I mean, that's my call right there, the 5th seed now. I know me and AC had a conversation yesterday. I could even see the 4th seed as a possibility with KD being down. But 5th seed for sure for me. Again, we have head-to-head matchups against 3 of those teams that are ahead of us. So we control our own destiny, man. We're right there. We are right there.
Yeah, LB. For the most part, man, if you look at the schedule, bro, it's like you said, it's one of the more easier schedules amongst everybody has left. And honestly, actually, let's look at the schedule. None of these games are gimmies. But you gotta figure some of these teams are going to fade going down the stretch. Some are going to finally throw in the towel. You never know. New Orleans, we got them next after the Knicks. They might decide to shut down BI. We really don't know what's going on. So the only real games that we have left, let's look at. We got 2 with Phoenix, 1 with the Clippers. Everything else, and 1 with Minnesota. Everybody else is not even really playoff contenders, man. So
and Dallas, you got 1 in Dallas too.
We got 1 with we don't even count them. But we pretty much had look at some of these teams like Dallas and Utah, even though Dallas is technically ahead of us, we pretty much had our way with them even before the trade. So,
and Luka got a thigh injury too.
Right. And that's another thing why I kind of agree with, both of you guys are correct, but I agree with LOE. The Lakers pretty much hold the keys to their own destiny because you look at Dallas, Luka with the injury. We look at Phoenix. KD went down once again. And let's not forget their backcourt is they have a history of injuries in their backcourt as well with CP3 and Booker. Those guys have a history of injury as well. So to me, those 2 teams are definitely, they could be chased, walked down. Maybe not Phoenix, but definitely Dallas could definitely be walked down, and we'll deal with Minnesota again when we get to them at the end of the month. So I think I pretty much agree with you guys, man. The Lakers definitely have more room to move up in the standings, and hopefully totally avoid the play-in tournament altogether, man. So we did our analysis of the schedule. LOE. Rob made all these moves. He filled in a lot of gaps. He solved a lot of deficiencies the Lakers had. Let's just cut to the chase, man. Does this team have what it takes now? We haven't even. I don't even think we mentioned LeBron James one at all.
Right.
We haven't mentioned him, and I'm pretty much going to leave it that way because we don't know what's going to happen. But let's assume he comes back in a few weeks, like they're saying. Man, how far do you think this team can actually go? What do you? How far can they make it in the playoffs? Is this team actually a title contender?
Yeah, I definitely say yes, but we need a few things to happen. We need to keep playing. We need this high play from our role players. That has to remain, as well as the high play from AD. Those two things have to keep going. With those two things, you got the high play from our role players, AD playing like AD, playing like a top 5 player, top 3 player, whatever. But yeah, I definitely do believe we are contenders now. We get into the playoffs, LeBron, I definitely believe LeBron comes back. So you add LeBron to this, these guys, it's we talked about it before. It's actually it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, right? LeBron, we don't want him to be injured, but him being injured, it allows AD to put the team on his back. It allows AD to be, to get back to bubble AD, if you will, and be that dominant AD, right? And then it allows all these role players to gain confidence in their roles, right? It makes it a lot easier to do it without LeBron than with LeBron. As weird as that may sound, and we're kind of seeing it, right? We're seeing it, and it's working. Like you said, the last 11 games, 8-3. From the 13th seed up to the 9th, possibility to get to the 7th today. The proof is in the pudding. So again, you get to the playoffs and you have AD playing like AD. You have the role players playing as great as they are, and then you throw in a fresh LeBron. His health, we don't know how he's not going to be 100%, but that comes 20 years in. You're not going to be 100%, but he'll be fresh. He'll have 3-4 weeks off.
Right.
I don't see any team beating this team in 7 games, man. If you got everything clicking like that, I just don't see it. And I know the rest of the Western Conference, they're shaking in their boots, bro. They really are. Those teams like those Sacramentos, even the Phoenix, even Denver, all the way up to the top. They don't want to see this Lakers team in the first round. So yeah, I definitely can see us coming out of the West if we have those things happen. I see us as an elite team. With the way these role players are playing, the way AD's playing, and then you throw in LeBron in that mix as well. Yeah, man, I can see us coming out the West, and you get to the finals, but the rest is it is what it is.
What you think, LB?
Idealistically, yes. Realistically, no.
So what are you thinking? Maybe a first or second round exit? Because if the Lakers can make it up to number 6, and let's just say the standings stay exactly where they are, that would put them in a first round matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies. So
I believe we could beat Memphis.
Okay, yeah, and then you got the whole thing with Ja Morant, and actually they've had quite a bit of success now and in the past without Ja Morant. But I kind of tend to agree with you that they could beat the Grizzlies in the first round. So that would probably set up a second round matchup. Let's just say with the Nuggets or the Kings, something like that. So what do you think? It may be a second round exit, or what do you think?
See, this is the thing. This is tricky because I don't like the Denver Nuggets neither. I've seen this movie before with them, right? And they lost to the San Antonio Spurs, for crying out loud. So if we draw the Nuggets in the second round, I actually think the Lakers can beat the Nuggets, man. Really, I really think the Lakers can beat the Nuggets.
So I guess my next question should be for you. Who are your favorites? I mean, you don't like the number 1 seed, and so that leaves you got to be thinking that either the Kings or the Suns will come out of the West.
I think it's the Phoenix Suns come out of the West. But don't sleep on the Sacramento Kings, man. You know, hey, if you saw my video before the season began, I actually projected this team to make the playoffs. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this good, but I did say they was going to make the playoffs, though.
Right. Mike Brown's done an excellent job with those kids up there, man. De'Aaron Fox, he's been giving fits to everybody the whole season. And I definitely think, you know, there's a case to be made for the Phoenix Suns because they're still having a certain degree of success, even though KD's out. I was just kind of thinking maybe the Lakers could get past them because they just really haven't had enough time. You know, they haven't played. I mean, how many games has Booker and Durant played together? Like
Probably
three.
Like 3 games, maybe.
Right. And KD's going to miss 2 weeks. So I don't know. It's just hard for me to put stock in the team. And even though we talking about KD, one of the greatest players in the world, but all three of us have been watching basketball for a number of years, man. There hasn't been a situation where you've seen the team just thrown together and they go all the way. Like there hasn't been a situation where a team's been together for 20 games and they've been able to go all the way.
Right. The only true. The only teams that have done that are LeBron James teams. You know.
Hey, AC, you might have answered that question in the comment section.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Which one? Let me see. From Blue Boat?
Yeah.
Okay. Ask LB if he believes those BS accusations of LeBron on PEDs by Chael Sonnen. What's your take on that, LB?
All right, the short answer is no, I do not. The long answer is Chael Sonnen is a drug cheat himself. And he runs his mouth about black people, and then he gets his head knocked off by these same black people. There you
go. Yeah, I mean, me and Eloise, we had some brief discussions on this earlier this week. I didn't think, you know, a lot of people say a lot of things about LeBron. There's been a lot of things been said about him over the years. He's smart enough not to, you know, breathe air into life or whatever, however the shit they say that stuff. You know, I don't necessarily believe it. That's just my opinion. I mean, I kind of think Chael is doing, like you say, he's clout chasing, and he's one of those MAGA guys, and he seems to always have it out for black athletes for some reason. So I don't know what his problem is or what his issue. I don't know.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Hey, I did a whole video about this on my YouTube channel, so feel free to check it out.
Right. Now we had look, we got a few more minutes left, man. I want to ask you guys one more thing. Not Laker related, of course. LOE, we talked about this a little bit, but what this situation going on in Memphis with Ja Morant now, I don't really want to. I mean, it is what it is. The young man got himself into some trouble. But my question is, what do you think the long-term ramifications are going to be for this? Not only for Ja, but maybe for the NBA players moving forward. There's been some more interesting information that came out about that situation. It's definitely not a good look for the NBA, but I just wanted to get your thoughts, LOE, on just the situation, how it's going to affect Ja, how it's going to affect the Grizzlies, and how it's going to affect the league moving forward.
Man, it's just it's sad, man. It's very sad. I hate to see it. I'm not a Ja Morant fan like that. I mean, the guy is great, but I'm not a fan of his like that. But yeah, I hate to see it, you know. And just him as a young black man, you know, you hate to see a young black man go through that. We all make mistakes in life, as dumb as they may be. It's tough to watch, man. But I mean, I definitely don't see him returning this year. I think the NBA definitely going to suspend him for the rest of the year. I think last time this happened, it was what like a 50-game suspension, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So something like this happened, and then now you got the photos leaking of him in the club and stuff. Now we all know athletes do that, but it's just there it goes right there. It's just when you see it, it's like, oh man, we know they do it, but we don't see it. So now you got the world can see it. So it's just a bad look for the league. It's a bad look for athletes in general. He's going to lose a lot of respect, from his fellow athletes and all that stuff. And again, like I just said, we know they do it, but it doesn't come out in public like that. He's just, like you said, we talked about this yesterday. He just got sloppy with it, and the whole gun stuff. That's just, man, that's tough, man. So, but when you have a young team like this, you don't have any vets on the team. You don't have any leadership. These guys really don't listen to anyone. You see it. They're becoming one of the most hated teams in the entire league, because they're all young guys. There's no vets there. Dylan Brooks is your vet. He's your leader. and that guy's a clown. He's a stone cold fool. It's tough, bro. It sucks because they're a very talented ball club. But all this, this outside noise and this type of stuff here, it's unacceptable. And there's no way that, they can put this behind them and salvage the season and win, with stuff like this going on. So it's very tough, very unfortunate. All I can say is I hope the young man gets help, gets the help he needs, and I hope he listens to the vets and hope he listens to his pops and all that, and he can right this wrong. But I don't see him playing for sure the rest of this year and a nice little chunk of next year as well. It is what it is. It's tough.
Yeah. Hey, LB, I tend to think, I was thinking that this thing might kind of disappear. But when we got pictures like this being leaked by the strip club, this is definitely not a good look. And the NBA is definitely not happy with these pictures being public, man. What's your thoughts on the situation as far as long-term ramifications for Ja and the Grizzlies and the NBA?
Yeah, so Dylan Brooks out here dating Decepticons, so there you go about that. If he's your leader, but as far as Ja Morant go, hey, look, he getting hit with that 50. He getting hit with 50 games because remember he pointed that gun at the Denver strip club, right? And
right.
NBA rules, and especially the collective bargaining agreement, strictly prohibits that type of activity. Matter of fact, That's what got Gilbert Arenas hemmed up, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when I think about Ja Morant, you know what I'm saying, he did a stupid thing, right? He got to deal with Powerade that's going to get taken off the table. Nike is standing behind him. He got a $194 million contract that's supposed to kick in next year. I think Memphis gonna let it is gonna kick in, but we never know. They might void it for all we know. So he did a crazy thing. He's not coming back this year. I know they say it might be 4 games, but he might not come back this year, and it's gonna be a chunk of next year that he might get suspended as well. But it's unfortunate. Sometimes to understand the value of what you had, sometimes it takes you losing it for you to understand it. So I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate. And when Dylan Brooks is your leader, because it seems like the only time he can practice his masculinity is on the basketball court, right?
Oh man. I think you said it all, bro. Yeah, man, it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation, and those pictures, to me, those pictures being leaked made it 10 times worse. Men are going to be men. We're going to do the things that we do, but Ja just made a lot of mistakes, man. He was pretty reckless, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of his teammates and a lot of his fellow players in the league really pissed off at him for being so sloppy, doing some of the things that he was doing, man. Hey, I got one more thing for you guys, and then I'm gonna let you go, man. We got we can't have a Laker news report without talking about this man right here. And so we had the jersey retirement for Pau Gasol, and something kind of struck me through going through all that hoopla. Of course, we know Anthony Davis carrying the load for the Lakers right now since LeBron James is out, man. And they said Anthony Davis said that he wants his jersey retired up there in the rafters of crypto, just like Powell got his, and Kobe's, and Shaq, and all these other guys.
I know you lying.
He said it. He said it. This is what he said. He wants his. I wish I could have saved the picture. I would pull it up, but he says he wants his number retired amongst the other Laker greats. Well, first of all, what are your thoughts on that, LB? But before you tell me the thoughts on that, just tell me what you think about AD's performance so far this season, and can the Lakers depend on him, man, to shoulder the load until the king comes back?
Well, look, when Anthony Davis has these monster performances, they need to get somebody on standby just in case, AD decide, slip on a banana peel and break his tibia or something, right? So,
right.
but if he can stay healthy, man, ain't no denying this man's a monster on the basketball court. We never deny his talent. We just, have questions about his health, right?
Right.
When he out here, looking like the mummy, because, he's all wrapped up, when he hurt his little pinky finger, then, man, look, we need him, right? And if he want his jersey retired up in the rafters or whatever like that, instead of putting up a picture of a mummy, then we can actually put his jersey number when he win 2 more championships, a couple MVPs, and maybe he could join the likes of Pau Gasol. And Pau Gasol is much deserved. Because remember when he first came in, when he came to the Lakers, he didn't even win the playoff game. He was 0-12.
Right.
Before he came to the Lakers.
Right.
So yeah, huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, he was 0-12. So yeah, and he won us 2 championships. He was a beast. So I don't mind Pau Gasol jersey being retired. I like it. So it's all good in the neighborhood.
Right. LOE, you think AD has he has what it takes, man, to get his jersey up there amongst the Laker greats?
I mean, I'm with LB. I was talking about this on Twitter. I said 2 more championships. And yeah, I want to see him, if he can lead us, continue to play the way he's playing this year, and because all these games without LeBron, he takes us from the 13th up to the whatever seat we get in, and get us to the playoffs. That's a strong, that's a strong case to add to the resume. But I want to see him, in the playoffs do the same thing. Not just get us there, but once we do get there, dominate in the playoffs like he did in 2020, right, in the bubble. If he can do that this year, and then following it up with a doing it, for the entire season next year, then yeah, man, I definitely I can see his jersey being held, being placed up there. But I'm with LB again, 2 championships, as the number 1 guy, and salute to Powell, definitely well deserved. Something a lot of people, everybody talk about Kobe, but a lot of, without Powell, Kobe doesn't get those 2 championships, right? And Powell made all NBA all 3 years, back to back years, when he was with us. AD has yet to, he hasn't done that yet, so we just gotta. I believe AD can do it again. Right. Like LB said, he just has to stay on the court. He definitely has the talent to do it, and now he has the role players to do it. So he has a team around him to help him do it. You got a point guard who can get you the ball in D-Lo. You got shooters around you to make things easier for you. And then you even got a Mo Bamba when we get him back, someone, to be that anchor behind you, when needed. It allows you to be even greater defensively. So, no more excuses. I think he's ran out of excuses. So it's put up or shut up, you know. And if he plays the way we all expect him to play, and we all believe he can play, then yeah, you know, we can see his jersey hanging. But he got to put in the work. You don't just win one championship and say, oh, you know, put my jersey up there. That ain't how it work here.
Yeah.
Amen.
He got cut. He got cut this shit out. He got cut this shit right here out. He got cut that out, bro. Come on, man. It's go time, man.
Right.
It's go time now, bro, man. But yeah, guys. Hey, Lakers got a big game tonight versus New York Knicks. They got a chance to go 500. I mean, to get their record to 500. I don't think they've had a record over 500 for over a calendar year, man. I want both of you guys. LOE, you go first. What's your prediction for tonight's game versus the Knicks?
Oh man, we gonna get it tonight. We're gonna get it tonight. We're gonna get to 500. Yeah, we haven't had a 500 record since the 48th game last year. We was 24-24. So that's very tough. And we're gonna continue things, man. We're riding a 3-game win streak. We're gonna make it 4 tonight. The Knicks coming off a back-to-back. They took an L to Clippers last night. You know, and for us to stay afloat, you know, and we got to win. You know, we can't drop, you know, that 2-10 start. You know, all those games we dropped in the first half of the season. You know, we gotta make up for that stuff. So I think we win tonight. I think AD balls out tonight. D'Lo continues, and Vando and Reeves and the supporting cast. Let's see if Beasley, we can get him back on track. And it's going to be a fun one tonight. And I got the Lakers coming out victorious. You know, we get to 500. We tied at 7th seed. And, you know, we move on to a big game on Tuesday in New Orleans.
Right. What's your thoughts, LB?
The Knicks on the 3-game losing streak. They lost to the Hornets. They lost to the Kings and Clippers. Lakers on a 4-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. But the Lakers will make it 5. I think they win 115, 111, and go to 500.
I like that. I'll agree with you guys, man. Although I think it's going to be a tough game. Everybody gets up. You know, even though we talked about the schedule and it being pretty light, but it's still a lot of, you know, it's still a lot of hate in the league for the Lakers, and ain't none of these teams going to make it easy on them. But I don't think they're going to have Brunson tonight, so. It should be a easy. I don't say easy, but it should be a victory for the Lakers tonight in LA. You know, we're gonna about wrap it up right here, guys. Man, I appreciate both of you guys coming through. LB, I really appreciate it, man. Hey, it's been a long time coming. I feel the need to want to talk politics with you, bro. But I usually don't do it too much. But I got another channel. Maybe we can jump on there and talk about some of these things going on. I've been trying to stay away from it, man. But it's just too many things going on in our community that need to be talked about, man. So we're going to have to do that on the next session, man. But I appreciate you coming through, LB. Tell everybody where they can find you, or your channel, and all your social media platforms.
Yeah, so under Twitter, I go under True Virgo Child, and my initials LB. And then, you know, obviously the Sports Political channel of LB, that's my YouTube channel. Please sub to that. You know, we're trying to get to 2,000 subs by the end of April. So that's the goal. So I appreciate you for having me on. Thank you very much. This was great dialogue. And my other brother, LOE, Lakers over everything. Man, this was great. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Hey, LOE, let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, man. Find us Lakers Over Everything here on YouTube. Also on socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. We're there, and you know, come hang out with us. AC, appreciate you, man, for having us on the platform today on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon on the East Coast for LB. My first time, you know, hanging out with him. Great guy, great channel. Make sure you guys head over there. And this was fun, man. A lot of fun. And let's get this W tonight, baby. Go Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, LB, in case you didn't know, man, LOE has a really big wrestling channel, man. So maybe one day we can do some wrestling talk. I don't know. I thought you were into wrestling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm into wrestling. I did a SmackDown review when it came to DC last Friday.
Okay, yeah, man. So
Nice.
maybe that could be on the menu for next time, man. But hey, salute to you guys. Let me just hit a few people in the chat. Salute to Sammy the Man, Lakers fan for life. Trey all day. Blue Boat came through. GTM, Big Baby. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to you guys on the panel. Once again, thank you for coming through. Lakers got a big game tonight versus the Knicks. I think we're going to get a victory, man, and finally get above 500. And we'll see how things go for the rest of the season. Anyway, guys, like I always say, this is your boy, AC, LA Sports Live. I will wrap with y'all later. Salute to everybody. Everybody stay safe. And we're out of here.